Hey mis amores, I hope you guys are doing good. I wanted to film a video kind of updating you guys on what's been going on in the last 3 weeks. A lot of us are at home because of the shelter in place that has been implemented. I wanted to talk about what happened on that first day and then just how things have been going. So I have 3 part-time jobs and 2 of those are basically out because one of them was at school and one of them was working at a tutoring center, so I am no longer working there. But the day that it was announced that there would be a shelter in place implemented, I was at work and our manager just kind of popped his head in to everyone. Like, he was basically going in a row, so I could hear him, and he was basically telling people in our unit whether they were essential workers or not. And if you're an essential worker, then you're still required to go to work, and if not, you get sent home, and hopefully you get to work from home. So I was under the impression that we would be sent home but still paid. And so one of my coworkers who was an essential worker, she was like, no, you need to start packing your things because you need to have things to be able to work on. Now, even though we've been working there for a few months, I work in a specific unit in DFCS. We're relatively new, all things considered. So it was like all hell broke loose. It was almost like a movie. Like, we all like started scanning things and just moving and looking for boxes to pack things in. And like I mentioned, we've only been there a few months, so we actually don't have, at that time, we didn't have access to work from home, like taking our laptops home or whatever. So yeah, it was a little concerning when my coworker was like, yeah, you better have some work or you're not gonna get paid. About a week later, they gave us access on our laptops, so I have been working from home. It's not full-time, but it almost is. And thankfully, they've been able to be very flexible with us. But yeah, I remember driving home that day and I was like, shit, we're gonna get stuck at home. And it wasn't very clear what you could really go outside and do. Like, I was pretty sure you could go to grocery stores and like the gas station and the bank and stuff, but I was like, what about laundromats? Every time I drove by a grocery store, there was these huge lines of people with their little carts waiting outside, and it was crazy. And I was like, oh no, like, they're still gonna be open. At least from what I read real fast before I left work, what I understood was the stores would be open. So I called my mom. She was at the laundromat. I met her there. I washed some clothes, and she was adamant about us going to the grocery store. But a week or two before, there had already been comments that COVID-19 was getting out of, like, it was a lot bigger than anyone really expected, and like, it was bad. And I'm that person who, I listen. Like, I don't mess around with that. If any type of doctor or scientist is saying like this is serious, this is serious. So I had already been buying, groceries enough for like a week or two. I wasn't hoarding anything, but I could tell my mom was not prepared and she really wanted to go to the grocery store. So we went to like a liquor store because there was no way in hell I was going to go stand in line at a grocery store. I could tell she was upset, and the guy at the liquor store, even though he didn't speak Spanish, he was like, don't worry, the stores will be open. And I was trying to tell my mom, but when that panic sets in, and you realize you're not as prepared as you want it to be, like, I can understand now why she was worried. Now we stayed home for a few days and then we finally went to a grocery store, but what broke my heart was just the look in my mom's face when I don't think she ever thought that this country would experience rationing, and ever since she's been here, like, there hasn't been any form of rationing. So she we went to the grocery store and there was little signs everywhere that said like maximum 1 or maximum 2 of like certain things, right? So she wanted to get bread, and it was like, oh, 4 bread rolls per per person or per family. And she was so sad. Just the look in her face, like, it just dropped. And I don't know, it made me really, like, it really sunk in because she was so sad. And then the following days, it was rough. It was rough because you know, I had a lot of arguments with family members, specifically my mom, because, you know, people want to go visit family and friends, and I was like, no, it's a shelter in place for a reason. We're not supposed to go anywhere. And so I've tried having that conversations with several people, but it's definitely been hard. And so that first week was rough, and then I think by the second week I was already experiencing cabin fever, and I've never heard of that term before, but I realized I was getting really irritated and frustrated. And then I realized I haven't been out in days. Like these four walls are closing in on me, and I'm just very irritated. So that's what it was. And you know what's interesting too is that first week of staying inside, I think I was sad, and I actually lost a few pounds, and I was like, oh wow, look at me. And you know, that brought some light into what was going on, because I've kind of put my health journey and my weight loss journey on hold for months now. You know, it brought some positivity into that week, but then I realized that I was cooking and baking a lot, and I'm not usually like that. Like, I usually don't have that much time. So now that I'm home, I was making breakfast for my family a lot, like a lot of pancakes, a lot of bacon, a lot of eggs, and just baking a lot, cookies and whatnot. So then I gained weight, and crazy, like, so in 2 weeks I gained about 5 pounds. So the weight I lost, and then 3 more. So yeah, that was a little frustrating. What I decided to do with one of my brothers is try out intermittent fasting. So we decided to make a split of 20 and 4. So for 20 hours we'll be fasting, and for 4 hours we have an eating window, and we made a bet out of it, and we have our own little rules. And I'm not gonna lie, the first day was hardcore. It was really, really intense. But now we're on our 4th day, and I feel so much better. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to do it for at least 1 month, and I'm gonna make a separate video on that. It's giving me somewhat of a purpose during this time. So, you know, if we're stuck at home, at least we're doing something. And I don't think I would have had this opportunity, you know, if I was living my day-to-day life. I don't think I would have lasted these 4 days. So yeah, it's interesting to see what you can do when you have some time and you have some motivation from family and whatnot. Now we're 3 weeks in, I think almost 4 weeks, and like we're going towards 4 weeks, and I think things are getting better, like here in our household, where, you know, everyone's a lot more cautious, and we're making sure we go on walks, and, you know, like it's just a very cooperative situation going on. But you know, I miss going to school. Like, I'm taking classes through Zoom now, and even though it's kind of cute, a lot of my classmates don't know a lot about technology, and they don't mute themselves, so then they like talk over each other all the time. And a lot of the times it's cute, but sometimes I'm like, like this, we need to learn, because I'm taking classes to become a court interpreter, right? So that state exam will come, you know, if everything goes well and things get better. Eventually, a year and a half from now, we will be taking our state exam. So I need to learn. And we actually just had a midterm yesterday. And I will say this, a lot of people give community colleges a lot of shit, but the one that I'm attending, it's Evergreen Valley College here in San Jose, they have amazing professors. They've been really, really good, and been very on it. I think that first week, work was a little intense, like logistics, so I didn't log on to our Zoom class or like open the slides, and I don't know how they can tell, but she emailed me right away, and she's like, I know you haven't been on for a week, like, is everything okay? What can we do? And, you know, we're here for you. And I was like, oh shit. I come from, you know, undergrad was amazing. It was a big school, so it wasn't that close of a relationship with most of my professors. And then I took a break, and then I went to law school, and it was so catty in law school, and everything was intense, and just such a competition, just within its very nature, because everything's curved, all the grades are curved. But it was so nice to have a professor reach out like that, and it's been a very supportive community, like definitely very supportive. Like the first 5 minutes of our classes usually they encompass us sharing and talking and, you know, trying to give each other motivation. So that's been really nice. And what I've noticed is the professors have been very flexible. Like they've made study guides for us, and they've you know, made the midterms online, and just very kind, you know, like they're human. They understand we're people too, and there's a lot going on, and people are taking the situation, you know, differently. And I had a rough start at the very beginning of this, and you know, thankfully I've started intermittent fasting, and I've started, you know, getting at least an hour of exercise a day, so things are going a lot better. And I still have, you know, the majority of my income still coming in, so I'm in a very blessed position. But I know it's not like that for everyone, so I really do appreciate that they're being so kind and so thoughtful. I don't think it would have been the same if I had stayed in the program, the law program I was in. If I was a 2L, a second year right now, I don't think I would have the peace I have right now. So so yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. I think I'm gonna, you know, take this month to kind of pick up more hobbies. I started reading in this last week. I've started reading every day, and I think, you know, people take things differently. Like if you're at home and you're not doing anything, that's totally fine. And if you're being like super productive, that's totally fine too. Like however you feel comfortable. For me, I do like to get things done, and it gives me some peace of mind just to be doing something. I also binge watch a lot of Netflix. So, you know, it's not the end of the world if you're not being productive. But I'm thinking of ordering a keyboard. And I haven't played piano in like 12 years, 15 years, I think. So actually I'm aging myself. It's been like 10 years. Every day feels like the same day. So yeah. Another message from the county that if you have any PPE equipment, you know, if you could donate it, I guess, or turn it in. Yeah, it's a different, I don't think it's what anyone really expected or thought would happen. And you know, for us, my parents work at flea markets, and they've closed them for 2 months. And so I think, you know, at least for us, we're helping what we can. And if there's anyone out there who has the financial means, like, turn to look to your friends and family and see if anyone needs some help. I think right now any help is incredibly appreciated. So yeah, and then I don't know, it's just hard for every day to feel the same and to feel like we're stuck. And I do want to say this. I think it's important to just find a way to find some peace and stay positive in some sort of way, because if not, I think it's easy to lose it. It's important to find the good things, the silver lining in things. And I always wondered what it would be like to spend more time at home and to just chill. And even though we're really not at home, we're not really at home because we want to, at least we're home. And I'm blessed, and I'm very thankful to have a roof over my head, to be living, you know, with some of my family members, and to be living with some of my family members so I can talk to them and interact. And, you know, we live in a house with other people too, so yeah, at least we're seeing people. And I can only imagine how it must be like if you're by yourself, or, you know, or you don't have a pet or something. I think that is it. Things are getting better here in this household, and at least for me personally, like, things are getting better, and I'm finding ways of staying busy, and then trying to, you know, take some time to just breathe every single day. But yeah, I hope that things are going okay for for everyone out there. I hope you like this update, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her. She's a Mona Lisa.